Oh, hello, Brian.
What? You want this, Stewie?
Yes, Brian, and I'll have that over there.
What?
Did you know that Optimus Prime's Jewish?
No, I didn't.
Muzzle tough this, Megatron.
See, I was right, wasn't I, Brian?
Okay, so you win.
Before your journey begins underground.
Hi there. It has come to fruition. I am here to talk about the Devastator upgrade kit 4. Yes, Devastator. I'm very clever. I'm on the ball. Yeah. And I'm going to briefly talk about the Constructicons. I will do a proper review of them some point in the future. They warrant it. They're really interesting to buy. I like them. I always have. I like them so much. I've got this. I'll show you. I actually fudged this out. It is this old. Look. I'll show you a close-up. There, can you see that? Now, I don't know if that's picking it up, but I'll take a picture and do a close-up. That was actually my auntie wrote at age 9, and I was age 9 in 6 months, and this is 89. So yeah, that's how long I've had this picture. And I didn't even have the Constructicons as a kid. Never mind. Anyway, the thought of where did they come from? As I said, there is three, well I didn't say, I'm saying it now, 3 theories as to where they come from. The first one being is this.
Excellent. They were worth the time we spent constructing them in these caverns, Starscream. How awesome are we?
Yeah, I did that for a bit of a joke, but essentially what it is Megatron does clearly state that they constructed them in those caves. Okay, so that's one theory where they come from. The second one is this.
But they were already on Cybertron. What do you want about Megatron? I should be leader, not you forgetful old piece of rust.
Alright, they're already on Cybertron, and they were already Decepticons apparently, because they got Decepticons insignia, but they're not, and they don't combine. Megatron alters them, so they combine, and now they're evil, and now Megatron is sort of like in control of them, and Omega Supreme doesn't like them because they destroyed the Crystal City, and Omega Supreme has a vendetta for the rest of his stupid life against them. Okay, that's point number 2. So there's 2 reasons to where they come from. The third one's even more weird. I couldn't actually remember which episode this is from, but I did find a picture of it. And this is the picture, and you can clearly see, this is a flashback episode, and you can clearly see the Constructicons creating Megatron. So, let's get this straight now, shall we? The Constructicons were built in a cavern by Megatron. They were already on Cybertron millions of years ago, and Megatron reprogrammed them, or they built Megatron. You know, go with whatever one you want. I ain't got a clue. I'm not going to say which one, because really they're all wrong and they're all right. Why can they not even have a consistency in a cartoon? Granted, it's for kids, but, you know, consistency, I get that, right? Right, the upgrade kit. As I said, the Constructicons will get their own review sometimes. Sometimes? Sometime. Which is different to sometimes. Okay, so you bear that in mind if you make that mistake. Yes. Now, I got this quite cheap, actually. I paid... What did I pay for it? I think it was close to 30 quid. No, £28, I think. And that included the shipping. I got it cheap. I'm quite pleased about that. You can clearly see on the back. If you're really interested on the back, I'll take a photograph of what's in the box when you get it open. It's interesting. The thing I will point out, you get a poster of him if you want. Don't know why you want. It's not a particularly good poster. You get this, which is... I don't know what you do with that actually, because it's really, really faded looking. So it's of no practical use to anybody. The instruction manual is the funny thing, because it's wrong. I couldn't see, for ages I was trying to combine the wrong leg onto the wrong Constructicon, and it didn't fit. And I thought, why is this not fitting? And I'm looking at the instructions, that clearly says that limb is for that connection, and no, it's back to front for some reason. Don't ask me how that happened. Never mind. I got there in the end. I persevered. I just swapped it round. Now, there's there's so many interesting things I've got to tell you. I've just a wealth of information today. Yeah. Alright, you see this? This is the knockoff Constructicon. These knockoffs don't fit on the upgrade kit, because I tried, because I was thinking, well, that would be good, because I've got the original G1 Devastator in G1 Devastator mode, and the Constructicons, I bought the knockoff one, so I could display the next Devastator. I thought it looked quite good. But as I said, unfortunately, if you've only got the knockoff ones, it won't fit. I suppose you could get it to fit, but you'll have to start rubbing down all the joints. They're just too big. I don't know why, they're just that much out that it won't fit. So if you've got the knockoff ones, I'm afraid you can't. And there's another thing I'm going to have to tell you. My G1 Devastator is somewhere not here. He's in a box somewhere, and I couldn't get him out in time to do it today, so I can't do a base comparison with normal Devastator next to this Devastator, because I don't have him. So, you know, I will get round to it. I promise I will do it sometime. I'll give you a height variant between the two and a difference. But for the time being, I just want to talk about the upgrade kit. And another thing, unfortunately, because I don't have the G1 Devastator and I've only got the G1 knockoff lookalikes, I'm had to use my G2 Devastator I did have around. So it's a rather weird coloured combined G2-ish G1 upgrade kitted Devastator. You want to see this guy, don't you? Let's take a look. And here he is. I said he looked weird, didn't I? What do you think? Isn't he great? Really pleased with that. Now, as you can notice on his head here, I'm going to point out the head straight away because I find this more fascinating than anything. You see the head there? He's got the shades on, isn't he? Now, he's got a hole in the back here. And, yeah. What do you think? Isn't that cool? That really is cool, isn't it? That's brilliant. Anyway, yeah. Devastator, for some reason, in the cartoons, randomly changed head. Now, you think I'm making this up. I've got a picture here to show you. And you can clearly see that sometimes he has his visor down and sometimes there is no visor at all. They went with the visor in the movie. I think it looks a lot better, but you know, hey ho, what the hell? I just thought I'd point that out. Why? Why? Because I like pointing out pointless things. That gives me a reason to point because they're pointless. Thereby, I forget it. So yeah, head moulding, excellent, lights up. I mean, what more can I say? What more do you want? That is cool. Just turn off now. Head moves up here. Now, let's show you out the bits, how they actually fit onto the toy. This is the interesting one. You see this bit here? This whole bit attaches him here to him there, and it enables him to drop things. Let's start that again. And it enables his torso here to pivot. Well, waist, sort of a very high-waisted then, we say anyway. So this bit here connects the two together, and it enables him to pivot, sort of like at the waist, which is quite nice. So it makes him a hell of a lot more poseable than he initially was. Well, he was poseless. The original Devastator is exceptionally fragile and exceptionally unposable. He can't do anything. It was one of the most fragile combiners there is. Now, as you already know, the legs here and the waist, they all move. You can go that, it moves up there and that comes off. That's not good. This bit here is quite clever because these bits move up. So if you want to move up the leg like that without this bit falling off, good idea. Although it does seem to keep falling off all the time. Legs are very poseable with these bits. These are the bits I was trying to talk about earlier. They don't fit on the other limb. The limbs were wrong. They put them back to front. I don't know why. Arms are really good. You know, the upgrade hands here, brilliant. You know, he can give the finger and everything. There we go. I've just been trying to get him to do it. The only problem is his thumbs keep falling off. They're exceptionally loose. They really are loose, his thumbs, and you have to be careful because you'll move him, you'll display him somewhere, and you'll come back and his thumb will be missing. You go, where the hell have I left that? Between here and there, somewhere his thumb is. You'll never find it again, so just be careful, because the thumbs fall off. A bit like the limbs. Now, there's a problem with him now. I've showed you the upgrade bits. Oh, and the gun. The gun is proper sized. I'll show you that too. Yeah. It's a big gun. In comparison, before I just point out the faults with him, he's practically in scale to Dinobots now, like he is in the movie, so that works quite nicely, you know, when he charges him, like that. Yeah, they're in scale, pretty much. Oh, and this bit here, I forgot. You can change the barrel of Mixmaster. It's a nice touch. It works, obviously not with the yellow ones, but it's really fiddly to try and get the other one out without snapping it. I've done it, but, you know, you're going to possibly be people who try it and snap it. I mean, it's inevitable. Right. Now, the problem is, these new upgrade bits are quite heavy and they wear on here. Now the joints that hold the arms on I've got a problem with, because you really need an upgrade for these bits here. They're so loose on this Transformer. There's not a lot. There's tiny little pegs holding these two arms on. And when it's extra amount of weight, they really just keep falling off. And you really need an upgrade to attach his arms at the back because he's slightly, shoulders a bit too hunched together, if you see what I mean. They really need to be out a bit more to pose a bit better. So you're kind of limited by the fact of the original design. So the only minor criticism I've got of that is you could probably do an upgrade for the shoulders. And here we go for the feet. Yet again, it's the problem that he isn't very stable with these legs. So you'd probably want an upgrade of some kind for the feet. I don't know how you do that unless you have a base or at least something to support the back. He's a little bit back heavy, you can probably tell. So he does stand, don't get me wrong, but he's not very stable. You have to sort of like splay his legs slightly like this, get him to stay. And he still can't pose and he's still fragile as hell. You couldn't fight with him because he'd just fall apart. Much as you wouldn't really want to fight with him because he's a toy and you're going to win. But you know, if you're playing with them, you know, like you do, well, I'm told that people play with them. No, I don't know actual offhand if you would play with him, because you're probably an adult. Anyway, yeah, you can pose him, but he is wobbly as hell. This is the biggest fault on my one, because this G2 one is so knackered. It's just that, you know, hey, whoa, man, that's the problem. But other than that, it's definitely worth getting the upgrade kit. Highly recommended. Oh, and this is a replacement here as well. It's a bit bigger than the old one. Everything's in the scale. He poses really nice. I really like it. It's definitely worth picking up. What more can I say? Not a lot, really. I only wanted to do a quick review of the upgrade kit because I thought it was really worth having. And now you've seen it, I can highly recommend, you know, you rushing off now and picking up. And he will display really nicely, but not in G2 colours, unfortunately. Right, so that's just a little quick look at that combining kit. I think that's probably covered everything I really wanted to say. That is essentially it, just a little quick look at Devastator upgrade kit. While I'm trying on a roll and remembering it there, if I keep pointing left and right, it helps my mind to keep ticking over. Second I stop, bam!
How awesome are we?